everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Today on Bones Collector we're continuing our series where Lori and I are playing our way through our board gaming library. So we're going to play a couple of games, 2 or 3 games each week, and make a video about it and pass it on to you, and I hope you enjoy them. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Bones Collector. And today Lori and I just got done playing an old classic game called Arcadia. Arcadia came out in 2006, according to Board Game Geek, and it's designed by Rudiger Dorn. Now, Rudiger Dorn is an outstanding board game designer, which is why I wanted to pick this game up and play it. And I was able to find a copy in the shrink. That was wild, wasn't it? But if you don't know who Rudiger Dorn is, then I want to tell you some of the games this guy has designed. If you've played Goa, Goa is a classic. Jambo, the classic. Titania, Las Vegas, which we have Las Vegas Royale, which is an outstanding game. We had Il Vecchio for a while, which is an outstanding little Euro. Asante, Istanbul is in my top 20 of all time still. Karuba is an outstanding game in my top 100. Steam Time, that was a really good game. It kind of flew under the radar. Montana, Luxor, Runestones, which is a game from just either last year or the year before, which is outstanding. I love that game. And My Farm Shop. So this guy's a heck of a board game designer. Yeah, and when I found out about this game, and I don't know what I was watching.
It's probably Board Gems. He talks about all the old games.
I think Jeremy reviews it. I think he did this game, and I watched it. And when I found out it was by Rudiger Dorn, I had to play it. And this is, let me talk about the production of the game. It's very typical 2006 Euro. Yeah, it's kind of a, not real colorful, but it's not ugly either. We have another game with tiles that looks very similar to that.
Princess of Florence.
Princess of Florence.
They look just like that.
They do look just like that. They come, you have a nice insert and everything fits in there perfectly. So that's pretty cool. And you have these player screens that are made out of thin cardboard, but they tell you what your actions can be, and that's very handy because you want to use this player screen to hide how many workers you have and how many of these seals that you have. So that's pretty cool. And then you got these little plastic workers in your color, as you see on the board here, in your player color. And these particular castle pieces, and what it is you are different families and you're trying to build the town. Each one of these polyomino shapes represent a building, and then you're building this castle in the center of town. And it's such a crunchy little game. But these plastic pieces are pretty nice, but each one of these castle pieces has a seal in it, and they will all be stacked on these spaces right here on the board, because this represents round 1, 2, and then the ones that are left over, 2 from each round, will go over here, and you'll take one final turn, and if you complete any buildings, you'll place those. But that's how these things work. So you're building that castle in the center of town. And these polyomino shapes are about Princess of Florence thickness if you played that game.
They're very thin. The
kind
board's
of thin.
really thin too.
Board's thin, but does that matter? I mean, really?
No. And you do have to stick down all those little squares.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every one of these.
It came with sticky tape, but
seals
it didn't have any
that you are going to put in the tops of these castle pieces has a square seal you're going to place in there. You have to use some double-sided sticky tape to put them in there. It came with some, but the game was so old that it wasn't sticky anymore.
Yeah.
So we had to go out and get some, or did you have some already?
I had some.
Had some, and we were able to stick those down. So you do have to do that if you get this game. But here's my point. It was $20, $25 I paid for this game, and it's absolutely fantastic. There's just no denying it. It's a classic game for sure. It's definitely a gem, and it is in my top 100 because I'm going to talk about Rudiger Dorn and some of his games when I do that video. My Ultimate Top 100. It's coming up. And because he is such a great board game designer. When I do my top 10 board game designers, he will be in the top 5 for sure. We just have so many games in our library by him, and I enjoy them, and they are designed in such a fashion that the complexity is a thinkiness that you enjoy, but not overdoing it, and it ties into the theme and having fun. And this theme of building a town with these polyomino shapes and building this castle in the center of the board is pretty cool. And you use workers to help surround these polyomino shapes, because once you surround one of these polyomino shapes, you're going to take the seal off of that polyomino shape, and then if you have any workers around there in your player color, you're going to get that many seals also. So if, for instance, you see this one here, this particular polyomino has a black seal on it. Now if we were to surround that with our workers, like so, and you have neutral workers too that you can acquire by covering up villages here on the board, so you have some workers that you're going to be able to place to surround buildings. So if it looks something like this, let's say, if I was the one that just placed workers to close off this building, this black seal, I would get the black seal off this polyomino shape. Then, because I have 2 of my workers in my color, I would get 2 more black seals and put those behind my player screen. The green player would also get 2 black seals because her workers are sitting there around this shape also. Then, because I closed it off, I would take one of these castle pieces from wherever we happen to be in round 1, 2, or in the final turn of the game, and place it in the center of this board. Now the reason why you're trying to do that is this is kind of a market speculation thing. So when you're collecting these seals that you are acquiring throughout the game, you're going to get paid for those, and you have 4 banners. Darn, I should have put those up. You're going to have 4 banners on your player screen, and this is pretty cool too, you guys. I mean, they hang on your player screen, like so. So these banners hang on your player screen like that. So you have 4 opportunities during the game to score the seals that you have behind your player screen and to acquire 2 more workers. Every time you use one of those banners, with just 4 times you can do that. And it looks pretty cool hanging on there. I love that. I love that part of the game. I mean, it's just little pieces of paper and some cardboard, but it's pretty daggone awesome. And I love that. So you're manipulating this market share. So if you've got, and you're trying to, in your mind, to keep track of seals that other players have gotten, because if you know that they've gotten a ton of red seals, then you probably want to try to cover those up. But during the game, because it's in different rounds, so round 1, round 2, and then the final round, but you cannot build up without filling out the next layer. Let's say there's 3 reds showing on this second layer right now. If I'm the player that has a lot of red, I want to get those cashed in before somebody puts that final seal on this, and then in the same turn can maybe cover up one of those reds, because I don't want that to happen. But that's how you're manipulating. It's kind of a stock market thing. It's a market speculation mechanism in the game, and that is fantastic. I mean, this game has caught me by surprise. You're going to have a hand of cards to start out the game, 4 of them.
They are tiny.
They're tiny. We got them in sleeves because this game's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang on to this game. You can see the different shapes and colors, so you want to pay attention to the shape and the color of the card, because that's the color seal you're going to put when you put that shape on the board, and you're going to put that color seal on that shape, and then of course be removed when it's surrounded during the game. But you play that card, play that shape on the board, and then you come over here and select one out of this market of 3 cards, and you're thinking about that too. What's getting surrounded out here? What color do I need more black? Would I want to take this? Is there something out there that I can surround with this and get more black seals so that I can cash in with one of my banners, because there's 4 blacks showing in the castle right now. So you're thinking about that.
Yeah.
And then after you take one of those cards, you'll put one back down on the table and fill the market. The next player will be able to do the same thing. So that's how this game works. And that's fabulous. What'd you think?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was good at remembering what other people pick up, so I'm going to have that problem.
Yeah. That's Arcadia. I was glad to be able to explain it to you. It's a wonderful board game if you give the opportunity to play it. I play board games and tell you about wonderful board games so that you don't have to buy them. You can kind of get an idea about how they're played and know that, again, I always tell you guys, follow the designer. Rudiger Dorn does a great job, and when he puts out a title, I'm going to play it. And Arcadia got by me for whatever reason, and I just finally got it to the table, and I enjoy it, and it's going in my library, and I'm going to keep it for the rest of my days. It's outstanding. So, thanks for watching The Bones Collector. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we love every one of you, and we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, and today Lori and I just got done playing Maharaja from Kramer and Kiesling, my favorite designers of all time. They just have the ability to design games that are right at that complexity level where we like to play. and I can just love their games. And I've got so many of them to talk about when I get to my Ultimate Top 100. But today let's talk about Maharaja, and I forget what year this came out. It's an old game, and this is a new production, new publishing job.
I want to say
I'm
13.
gonna look it up real quick. Okay, so this game initially came out in 2004. It's an older game that we've never played. We didn't play this at any conventions we've come across and just never got around to it. But essentially, this is an area control game, as you can see on the board, and this is a gorgeous production. I'm going to tell you that. This particular game just came out in 2021, and it's beautiful. Everything about it. The pieces are nice. These statues and shrines are nice, and you have thick tiles that are the character tiles, and those character tiles are absolutely gorgeous. The art on them. The art on this board is gorgeous. Your player board is gorgeous. Yeah, these are super nice, and you get like 16, 17 of them.
I think so, yeah.
Well, we
Plus,
had it.
we got some extras from
Yeah,
the
this is a Kickstarter copy. I bought this game brand new for $25. And is it worth 25 bucks? Yeah, it's worth $25. But this whole game is driven by one of these things. This is an action selection wheel that you're going to use at the beginning of your turn. And you do this in secret. And you have these hands on here, and you're going to choose 2 actions on your board for the most part. And then once everybody has their actions programmed, you're going to say reveal, and you're going to turn them over, and you're going to take turns according to the character tile that you have on your player board. The value that's at the bottom is going to determine who goes first. The lowest number goes first. And every one of these character tiles has a special ability, and some of them are very good at the higher numbers, and the ones that are with the low numbers aren't as good. But some of these are pretty powerful. And in this game, part of this, and one of your actions on your action wheel, is to be able to steal the tile, not only from the supply to exchange with the one that you're using, but also from your opponents. So you have to be willing to do that in this game. I think once somebody gets on a roll with one of these tiles, you have to stop them, and it costs you an action, but you got to be willing to take that tile away from them so that they can stop their momentum, is what you're trying to do. But anyways, in this game, you're going to be placing statues and shrines out on the board in these cities and villages. You have to put them in these villages in order to give your priest, your smaller token here, a way to travel around the board. If you travel on a road that has opponents' shrines on it, you're going to have to pay $1 to your opponent. Would that be $2? It would
for
be.
each shrine.
Yeah,
yes.
it'd be $1 for each shrine that you're passing on. But the art on this thing is so beautiful, and you have a scoring legend over here, and it comes with other tiles that change that scoring legend. So it changes the game up. And then also you see these tiles right here. They start out way down here on the board. The game is 7 rounds long, and you're going to cover up these rounds with these tokens as you go through the game, and you can see what's going to happen, what's going to score next, which city. They have color icons right here on the board, as you can see, be pointing to them. See those? That's, you know that when you see that token, that city's going to score next. The Maharaja is going to go there, and you're going to score that city. And what you're trying to do is stay ahead of the Maharaja, because if you go into that city when he's there, everything costs more money. But if you go in before him, and you can see how the breakdown is going to be, then it's a little bit cheaper. So it's important to kind of plan ahead. But you can't always, especially at the beginning of the game, because he's going to have a city he's going to be in already. And if you want to score in that particular round, you're going to have to get something built with the Maharaja there. And it's a pretty big difference.
Moves those.
It's a pretty big difference. If you win that area, you get $12. The second place person at a 2-player game only gets 6. So that's a pretty big discrepancy there. So you want to, and that drives you. It drives you to win the area majority. So that's pretty neat in this game. We've played it 3 times in a row, and I enjoyed it more every time I played it. I will say that. Because you have to understand and use these character tiles. That's the key to this game, are these things. This thing is a lot of fun to work, this action selection wheel, but you need to know the powers of these things, when to use them, when they best benefit you. I don't think it's something you would do very many times during the course of a game, because you only have 7 rounds. So if you're spending one of your 2 actions continually switching these tiles out, it's going to cost you the game. But you have to do it when it's very strategic to do so, and maybe once and even twice a game would be outside max to be taking a tile from an opponent or from the supply. But some of these are a little bit overpowering, aren't they? I mean, the one that I used for the most part of this game gave me an extra action every round, and that was very valuable. And then Lori had one in one game where you can move the priest around for free. The shrines had to be there, but they didn't have to be yours. So you could go down these shrine routes, these roads, without paying your opponent, and that's pretty nice. So she was able to move around the board, and we played 3 times, and she won twice, and I won 1 time. They were close games though, for the most part. I think the first game you beat me pretty bad, but then the second game was kind of closer, and then the third game was close.
We're within 8 points in the third game.
Yeah, so I was able to win that. So scores are going to be close. I like this game a lot more than I did the first time I played it. The only complaint I have about the publishing is this board won't lay flat. Now I don't know if I can get that to set something heavy on it.
But as soon as you put it back in the box, it won't lay flat next time you get it out again.
Yeah, so I don't know, but everything else is
so
spectacular.
Thin. It's really thin.
Yeah, it's a thin board. It should have been a little thicker. But this action wheel thing is nice, and your player board is very nice. I really like it. I was watching Tom Vasel talk about this game, and he says, "Oh, well, this doesn't fit in there. This doesn't fit in there." Well, it's not supposed to fit in there. I don't think.
You have it in your hand all the time.
It's in your hand all the time, and you just lay it on top of here because it's got these buttons on it. So in order for it to lay flat, it would have to sit on that on top of the player board anyway. So I don't think it was meant or carved out for this to fit in there. That's goofy. And
it wouldn't matter if it fit or not.
Yeah.
You pick it up and use it and lay it back down upside down.
And he said it was problematic, and I don't see that at all.
Yeah.
Now the publishing job in this game is magnificent. Again, $25 somebody sold. It's the Kickstarter copy. We have extra scoring tiles that are going to change the game, and I don't know if we have any more of those tiles.
Yes.
Those benefit tiles. So that's pretty doggone cool.
Here's the Kickstarter stuff.
Oh yeah. Some extra character tiles. As you can see, this is Kickstarter stuff that you get.
And there's 2 of these scoring tiles and some more.
2 more of these, because when you win in one of these areas, you're going to get $12. I'm talking about a 2-player game.
Yeah,
you get $12 or $6, and then you get a benefit off that track and of one of 3 tiles at the bottom there because of the 2-player game. And then again, you can see these scoring changes, and I think that might make the game really interesting too. Changing the final scoring tile to something different. That's pretty cool, and you get 4 extra ones of those.
And there's more of those in the box.
Oh, is there?
Came with the original
wow. Okay, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
There it is. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 4 more of those that you can use without
And then
even
these,
getting to the Kickstarter.
I don't know what these are called, the rules.
And there's special rules.
Special rule tiles, yeah.
There's some of those in here too.
Yeah.
In the regular game.
So you
and
get
the
a lot
Kickstarter.
in this box. This was not a cheap game from Kickstarter, but we were able to pick this up from somebody at a convention.
Sealed.
Sealed, and get this game. And again, I knew of this game because it's Kramer Kiesling, my favorite board game designers of all time, and I was willing to check it out for sure. And I'm glad I picked this up for $25 because it's outstanding. Again, the only I will complain a little bit. This board is humongous.
Yeah. It takes up the whole table.
Yeah, as you can see, I don't know if we'd even be built. I don't know if we play this at home or not. Maybe. But
it doesn't need to be so big. These cities could be closer together.
Yeah, so it's a rather large board, so you have to consider that if you're going to pick this game up. But it's worth it. It's a fun game.
Yeah, the board is pretty good size.
It's a really good game, and again, it's gorgeous to look at. And we've had people stop by while we've been playing this and ask what game is this. But it's very pretty. Yeah, the only thing is the board is a little thin, so it doesn't lay flat, even though it's gorgeous.
Yeah, the board's gorgeous, but it doesn't lay down.
Yeah, I don't know if they could have tightened this up a little bit and made it one section less. I don't know, because you got these benefit tiles that have to be on there, and if you put in all these scoring legends on the board, that takes
take this
space
stuff
too.
off I don't know.
Yeah.
The board's, it should have been thicker, but it already weighs a ton. The box already weighs a ton.
I mean, there's a lot in here. There's a lot of game in this box as far as goodies. There's a lot of goodies in this box, and these are kind of funky because they have beautiful artwork on them, but you can't see it. So we're gonna, for first time ever, I think I'm gonna put some wash on these.
Okay, that's an elephant sitting down. Is that what yours is too?
Some gorgeous stuff. No, I don't think so.
I can't see it. It's yellow. It really doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Oh, yours looks like a dude.
Our priests are identical.
So they are different.
Yeah, they are different, and there's, I
And
think
then
it's 4 players.
And then the Maharaja.
Yeah, there's the Maharaja guy.
He's an elephant.
So we're gonna, I think I'm gonna watch those. Oh, this does have a solo variant, so it's
Oh,
1
yes.
to 4.
Yes, there is a solo variant.
Yeah, and this says 90 minutes on the box. We played this in 45 minutes, 2-player, and I think maybe if you had,
It probably took us over an hour the first time.
I imagine if you had a full complement of 4 players, it would probably take 90, maybe. But I think 4 players that know the game could probably get it done in an hour. But it's fun. The decisions are very interesting because of this and those character tiles. And the rule set is outstanding. And what did he say? Simone Luciani helped with some of the development of this game.
I didn't catch the name. It was
And
one
I think
of
it
those
was
guys.
Simone Luciani, an outstanding Italian board game designer. But yeah, this is a wonderful game if you ever want to pick it up. We're going to hang on to it for a while. I don't know for how long, but I like the game. I like it more the 3rd time we've played it, for sure. After you understand how this game works a little bit. And I mean, knowing you got to watch this line of tiles because that's telling you when those things are going to score. And you have to, because the one on the end is going to be the one that's going to come up here and be the one where the Maharaja is going to go, and that's going to score in the next round. So you want to kind of stay ahead of that and get some buildings in that city before the Maharaja arrives, because it's more expensive if you don't.
Unless you do move one of those city tiles 3 spaces and screw up everybody's plan.
Yeah, you can. You have the ability to move these tiles. It's one of your actions, and then it's also on a character tile.
Yeah.
So if you're planning something, your opponent may mess with you. Oh, you thought that was going to happen, huh? Well, no, we're going to move those tiles. So that isn't set in stone.
Yep.
But it's definitely something that you want to be aware of. But that is Maharaja from 2000. This particular copy is from 2021. It's a beautiful game, and it's fun to play. And we had a good time with it today, playing it 3 times, and it definitely took us that long to get a feel for it. But it has a good personality. I really enjoy this game, and I'll see you the next time on the Bones Collector. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video for us. We love every one of you, and we'll see you the next time on Bones Collector. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Bones Collector. And today on Bones Collector, Lori and I just got done playing The Magnificent. The Magnificent came out in 2019. I don't know if it was actually out in 2019 or if it was 20 before it got circulated to everybody. But 2019 is listed in Board Game Geek. It's a 1 to 4 player game, and the designers are Eilif Svensson and Christian Amundsen Otsby. Now these guys did a game called Santa Maria, which we love very much, and so I was very curious to finally play this. I mean, I've been thinking about this game and thinking about it, and I think one of these designers also assisted on Automania. So, and I always tell you guys, follow around the great designers, because the ones that are great are really smart, and wow, this game is magnificent. But let me talk about the game. Kind of a it's not a great box, okay? So I'm kind of disappointed in that a little bit. But I bought this game for $20 in the shrink at Dice Tower Con East. So hey, wow, that's the best $20 I ever spent. And the card stock is just regular card stock, and but the art and everything in this game is fabulous. But you don't hold these cards. They're posters that you're going to do in your Magic performance, and master cards that you're going to use as worker placement spaces. So that's the card stock. You have these gems, these crystal gems that are in every board game on the planet, and these nice hats that for performance hats are wooden, and you have these trainer guys, little wood cylinders. All the tokens are nice and thick. Player board is that thin paper stuff like you see in a lot of games. The board is kind of thin, but it lays flat. Like yesterday, Maharaja, that great big board, did not lay flat. But this board it lays flat, and then this tray comes with the game, and it holds all your components that you're going to use in the game. And so that helps out quite a bit. And it has a lid that goes on it. We just put a rubber band around it, and I think that's just. Oh, you got these little coaches. They're going to travel and move around different terrain, and those are made of wood also. Very cute. Yeah, and there's one of the player boards, what I'm talking about. It doesn't hurt gameplay whatsoever. As a matter of fact, who cares?
And they're double-sided.
Yeah.
And they're all different.
Let me tell you about that. Yeah, they're double-sided and they're all different, so that's kind of cool. And it tells you here, which side you're playing on. So this is 4, A side 4, and it gives you your starting resources on here. And these are the 3 actions you can take on your turn. And this last one is the performance, and it tells you how to do your performance action, because that's a little bit different. And then you have a place for gems here, and this tells you spend a gem, you get a +2 in that color of die on your master cards. And then this is if your gems are full, you get $1 for every gem that's over the 3 in your supply here. And then over here is kind of a polyomino game going on where you're going to cover up things. You've seen this before. You're going to cover up portions of this with these shapes up here, and you get bonuses at the end of the game for being able to cover up some of those sections. we weren't able to do it. But,
We were too busy trying to figure out how to play
and then
the
over
game.
here it tells you it's the graph on value of your dice, and like it'll have a big square. That means you can take one of the big pieces, and it has a little square. You can take one of the little pieces and put those in your camp area, it's called. Then up here is where you acquire tents from these traveling things over here, and you put the tents on there, and then your performance cards go above your player board right there. And you get the bone when you complete that performance. You not only get the benefit on the bottom of the card, but you also get the benefit of the token of the tent that's on your player board. So that's pretty cool. So you're going to try and acquire those tents in these circles here. So yeah, that's the way your player board works. This is a dice worker placement game. You're going to roll dice depending on the number of players, and then you're going to take turns drafting them and putting them on these master cards that you have in front of you. You start the game with 4 of them, and at the end of each round, because the game is 3 rounds long, at the end of each round you're going to get another master card, and you want to try and score one of these every round. And it has a way to score on the bottom of each master card. On the top it has a benefit. When you place your dice there that you've drafted, you get that particular benefit, and the value of the dice is how powerful your move is going to be. And not only that, but you are going to have to think about the color of the die and adding them together, because in this particular instance I had a 6 and a 5, and I had to pay that at the end of the round, because your largest dice total by color is what you're going to have to pay. Plus you add a clear one in there if you have any clear ones. So it can be very expensive, and you're balancing that in your mind.
But that gave you an 11 for an action, so that's a lot.
Yeah, well, I actually got did I get a 12?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a 12. So I don't know how I ended up at 12, but I did.
Jewel, gems.
Yeah, so anyways, when you're drafting those dice, there's so much to think about, and it's hard to get used to this game a little bit. Did you think? I mean, it takes you a few turns to where you're, oh, okay, I get it. Because you also have these trainer tiles that give you
Yeah,
extra
I feel like I didn't do half what I could have done.
extra
Sorry.
benefits that you can use these little trainer guys for. And you start out with 1, and then you're able to acquire those more trainers by different functions on the board, and they come in very handy. I ended up with 3. How many did you? Oh, you had 3 also. So yeah, that's pretty nice. But this game truly lives up to its name. It is magnificent, and I love games about magicians, and that's the theme of this game. It's beautiful on the table. The art on the cards is absolutely gorgeous. The board game is gorgeous. Your player boards are gorgeous. It's just a really good-looking game. I really, really enjoyed looking at it and playing it. So it's absolutely fabulous. And then when you're doing your performances, I forgot to mention this track in the middle and these wooden hats. You have to move your wooden hat and place it on one of these spaces according to the value of the die you placed on your worker board. And there's many ways to add to that value. Gems, and then some of the powers on these cards, and then some of these trainer tiles give you added value to your dice. So you're thinking about all those things. This is a pretty complex game. I think it's 3 something on Board Game Geek, I think I read. But I think once you get used to it, it's about the same complexity as Santa Maria. And again, that's another game that we absolutely love.
3.13 for this one.
Yeah, 3.13. But here's the thing. I said I like games about magicians. I used to have Trickerion. And Trickerion is a well-published game, and by that I mean it's very pretty. I mean the art in Trickerion is very nice. The dice are gorgeous. Everything in Trickerion, as far as the publishing job, the physical game is absolutely gorgeous. That's from Mind Clash, and they're known for that. But the game for me was just a little bit clunky and just a little bit of a grind. So we moved that game on. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's a great game, and I loved the theme, Victorian. That's my favorite era of mankind. It was the Victorian era, and these magicians performing in a big theater. I mean, I loved everything about it, but the gameplay was just a little bit grindy for me. This thing plays like a well-oiled machine. It is absolutely fabulous, and this is my go-to magician game, and it will stay in my library. Just absolutely fabulous.
Santa Maria is 3.05.
Santa Maria 3.05.
So a little lower. This is
Yeah.
3.13.
I thought this was a little crunchier than Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Just just a hair, but absolutely fabulous, man. I'm glad. I love doing videos about games that are just well designed, and these guys know what they're doing. They're smart people, and when I play their games, I expect their game to be good, and that's why when I hear they have one that's coming out, then I eventually track it down. This one's been out a few years, but I had.
Well, we've gone back and forth on it for years.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way the board looked, but it's beautiful in person.
I mean, this thing looks really gorgeous on the table, and it plays so smoothly. It's something that you have to consider if you are a Euro gamer and you love smooth playing games, and that's why we love Euro games, because we love that just the fluidity of Euro games. That's what I love. I like games that you can just play fast, and well-oiled Euro games are like that. And I'm glad to be able to tell you about this one today. This is, wow, I don't know, man. This is way up my list now. Magnificent. It's way up there with Santa Maria, and it just took me a while to get around to it. I apologize for that, but again, I couldn't say no to it when I saw it on the virtual flea market for $20, still in the shrink wrap. I grabbed it as soon as I could and said, hey, that's mine, give me that. And I'm glad I did. And now we're going to go home and play it again. We're in our clubhouse here at our retirement community, and we wanted to play it up here because our cats are just nut bars right now. They're only 6 months old and they're crazy. But when they see a game like this, it's just game on.
All the little pieces would be on the floor.
Yeah, they dive on top of the board and stuff goes flying. You're lucky to find it again. But and I can't get mad at them because they're kittens. So we come up here to the clubhouse and play this. But I wanted to tell you about this game, and it's a pleasure to talk about a game like this. This is why you board game right here. I'm telling you right now. This is why you play board games like this. Absolutely fabulous. Hey, listen, like and subscribe. I love every one of you. Keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet because of games like the Magnificent. And I will see you the next time on A Bones Collector. Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, that was a couple of games out of our library that we wanted to share with you. Lori and I just do this because we want to share our passion. The only payday that I get is when you comment on the videos. It goes way beyond a monetary reward. And thank you for those comments, and please keep them coming. We'll try to get back to you as often as we possibly can. I love every one of you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll try to get them out as soon as possible. Bye-bye.